And I want to close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations.
Hi guys, you're welcome to the Dicksons View. We're really sorry, it's been a while, we've been away from the screen, and we're right here to reassure you that we're gradually coming back to continue with our activities right here on the Dicksons View. And on today's video, we'll be reacting on the rejection of the peace deal by the regime in Iran that has outrightly rejected the offer by the United States of America on a peace to restore back normalcy and peace across the Middle East. Let's watch this video together.
An interview with an Iranian official detailing 5 conditions under which the regime there says it would agree to end the war. I want to walk through the 5 conditions here and then discuss why this is probably a non-starter here for the U.S. side. But the Iranian official telling Iranian state media that they would agree to end the war if there is a complete halt to aggression and assassinations by the enemy, the establishment of concrete mechanisms to ensure that war is not reimposed on the Islamic Republic, guaranteed and clearly defined payment of war damages and reparations, the conclusion of the war across all fronts and for all resistance groups involved throughout the region, and then finally, Iran's exercise of sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz is and will remain Iran's natural and legal right and constitutes a guarantee for the implementation of the other party's commitments and must be recognized. So Iran here, at least according to this official speaking to Iranian state TV, is saying 2 conditions here that I think are, will be obviously non-starters for the Trump administration. The first is payment of war damages and reparations. I mean, just can't see a world in which the Trump administration would agree to that. And then also sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz indefinitely, right? They want to control that strait and then presumably be able to charge for safe passage through that strait. Those things seem like they would be very difficult for the Trump administration to agree to, but we'll ask the White House and see what their response is. If nothing else, this at least indicates that some terms are being exchanged between the 2 sides. We know that the U.S. side has sent over some terms of its own, and then we'll wait and see whether these negotiations take shape and actually happen in a physical way, or if this all kind of exists through media posts and through intermediaries and the like.
Now, on this so far, now that the regime in Iran is rejecting the terms given by the United States of America and presenting its own terms, which they expect the authorities in the United States of America and the government in Tel Aviv, Israel, to accept their own terms by presenting their own terms and conditions to the peace deal. If the authorities in the United States of America and the authorities in Tel Aviv reject or refuse to adhere to their own terms, what will it pose to the world economically and socially across the globe? Because as it stands now, who controls the Strait of Hormuz is totally in charge of the world economy as it stands now, even in the face of the war in Iran. I would really expect to see that the authorities in the United States of America keep or follow these terms to see if there could be a lasting solution or peace in this conflict in the Middle East. Because without this, as it stands now, the situation is biting hard across the world, even in Africa and other countries whose source of energy passes through the Straits of Hormuz, and even China, India, and other countries of the world are feeling the impact of this war negatively on their economy. And now they have given these terms and conditions to be in control of the Strait of Hormuz and other terms which they have also presented. Will the United States of America accept these terms? Will the government in Israel also accept these terms to create a lasting peace or solution to to the conflict, will the American government also pay in return as they demand for damages and the assassination of persons or members of the IRC in Iran? We would really love to know what are your thoughts on this. If these conditions that are presented before the United States of America will actually bring a lasting peace and solution in the conflict in the Middle East. Let's know what are your take and your thought as well in the comment section. We hope to see you in our next video as we discuss more.